So Jadan Horyn is a guy. He's a conservative millennial and one of the smartest cats we know. Contributed to Metropolitan Magazine and one of our favorite people. Jadan, welcome back to the show, man. Always great to have you here. Tell us what happened last time. You got a little bit of a thing. So can I set it up, please?
Yeah, set it up. Set it up.
So I think Melania Trump is one of the best first ladies we've ever had. Why do I say that? And it's the same way I feel about the president, because I met them and I've known them, and I know when they first started going out, Melania was grounded, down to earth. I can remember specifically being at Bedminster, Jadan, and we were doing a fundraiser for an event for New Jersey, and I was the master of ceremonies. And they said, Donald and Melania, that's the way we refer to them, are coming. So I remember you hear the chopper, you hear the Trump chopper that would come down, big come down. And then the Donald would walk over. Melania, she was so gracious. For all her beauty, you think she's going to be, maybe a little stuck, grounded, down to earth, sweet, conversational, always nice. She doesn't get a break. So you come on the show. Jadan Horyn comes on the Piscopo show, and he writes this great piece in
Metropolitan Magazine.
In Metropolitan Magazine, and it's of Melania. It's a pro Melania piece. You got heat for this?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Tell us about this, man. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what happens out there in the real world, because it's filled with hate. But so I write this article for Metropolitan Magazine, right?
Yeah.
The publisher, Chase Backer, says, "Hey, do some media on this."
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, you're across the pond. The UK Daily Express listens to you, and they call me up, and they're like, no. "We'd love to do a follow-up interview with you on this story."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Sure."
Wow.
So they put out a couple different stories, and one of them compared Melania to Hillary Clinton, another to Michelle Obama, and cue the hate. Because I argue that Melania is a feminist. I argue that she is an independent woman.
Yeah.
And cue the people who are racist and xenophobic and sexist, all the things that they accuse conservatives and Republicans and people being on the right for being, they themselves are.
You're right.
And then they put it on me. Then they came after me. They put my address out there.
They
tried to dox me, but it's great because it's a post office box. So I was like, yeah, go show up there. It was the same one that the guy tried to.
Al, would you mess with this kid in a million years? Look at the size of this kid. Are you kidding me? Why the hate? From Twitter mostly?
From Twitter, yes, absolutely.
All from Twitter, yes.
They peddle in hate there. Why the hate? I think because she's effective. That's why they hate her, because she's effective.
Yeah, but the fact is, I guess if I didn't know her, now she still is nice. I don't understand the criticism, but I think it's anything Donald Trump, anything
Donald Trump. I mean, look, it's Fashion Week, right? And I'm covering Fashion Week for Metropolitan Magazine. She is a supermodel. One of the controversies is the designers are refusing to clothe her, to design for her because of, quote, politics. Right? But we know for a fact that if it was a different first lady, even if they didn't agree with her politics, they would, of course, jump at the opportunity. Or the better hypocrisy, before he was president, they were lining up, of course, to clothe her. But the moment he became president, then suddenly they had principles. I mean, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did they clothe, quote unquote, Michelle Obama?
Yes, of course. I mean, Michelle Obama was on the cover of Vogue. I mean, I don't know if they clothed Hillary Clinton. I don't know what designer's famous for pantsuits, but I'm sure there's one, because
Three jokes went through my head that I just didn't go for, because I don't want to do the hate, but I'm not going to be mean. But I know you thought of them as you're listening now. You can make your own jokes like that. So where do we stand? You fought because you're not. I know you're the kind of guy that's not going to stand down. So you went up against these people, and
oh my gosh, I responded to every single one of them. On Twitter.
Oh, that's great!
I did. Great. Every single one of them. They're talking about they call the juxtapose. Michelle and Melania call her Lady and the Tramp. And I'm like, look, we are not going to shame women because she was a supermodel. She posed nude. Look, we're not going to shame women for the choices they make. I thought that's what liberals fight for. I thought that's what they fight for. So guess what? I'm going to hold you to your own principles. And so every single one I went after, and I guess they moved on from me. They got sick of it.
732 with Jadan Horyn and Piscopo. My favorite Melania story. I told this many times because I thought it was so cool. I was at Saturday Night Live and at the reunion about 4 years ago now, and then I'm looking around, and then the girl I was with says the girl next that I'm with elbows me, and she goes, Donald Trump's over there. And I lean forward and I look over, and we're in the bleachers at Saturday Night Live. And then I look over, and then I see Donald Trump, and I see Melania looking over at us. And Melania waves like this. She elbows Donald like this. It's like two couples just saying hi. It's as regular. It's like, and Donald's like, "What, honey? What? Hey, Joe, how are you?" It was like that. These are the people I know. Everybody's got to stop. Everybody's got to just relax. It's okay, and you can put Michelle Obama on a cover of a magazine or to walk a runway. You certainly could allow Melania Trump to do that. Hey, so tell us what's happening in Liberty University, who I just talked to President Falwell. What a great guy he is. Oh my gosh.
Look,
Jerry Falwell Jr.
This is a perfect example, right? So we're going to talk about Melania and being connected to Donald Trump, and of course the left hates her because of that.
Yeah.
And now the left hates the Falwells. I mean, they've always hated the Falwells for the influence they have in national politics. There's this piece written in Politico by a former student that essentially takes a look at the Falwells in a critical eye, tears Jerry Jr. apart, absolutely tears him apart by connecting personal business dealings and trying to conflate it with university dealings, and then trying to layer that on top of politics. And so I read
why
this.
does Politico put this out to go against the president? Of course.
Oh, because one, because of the influence of Jerry Jr. Two, because they're so mad that he delivered "quote unquote" the evangelical vote for the president,
and because it's one of the most successful universities on the
planet.
planet.
because we have to attack success, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Jr. is a businessman. He's not a minister. His father was a minister.
Yeah.
He's a businessman, and he developed a business model for a university that has taken its endowment from a negative when I was a student there,
amazing,
to now it's like $2.5 billion plus.
It is historic what he's done with
Absolutely.
that university. Yeah.
And he's used the platform to elevate the discussion about what we should be talking about in politics and policy.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe
and
that
people,
he believes in God. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe. Just
and
saying.
so this article gets written, and it essentially attacks him and tries to paint him as a hypocrite. But it's really hard because he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's not out there claiming ministry and morality. He's out there with the mantle of, this is an educational institution that we want to have impact on the world. It's having an impact on the world. Guess you don't like it.
Yeah, good for you. Jaden's a graduate of Liberty University, one of the finest universities I have ever seen, one of the most best-run universities I've ever seen. Jerry Falwell Jr. he so embraces you. When he walks the campus, he is a rock star. And Mr. President, Jerry, how all the students come out of the elevator? Oh yeah. Oh, hi, Joe. But it's Jerry Falwell. It was like that. He was like, I'm telling you, it was so nice and warm. And he took time with me, with my children. I've never seen more warmth than I have from the Falwell family. And everybody who works there, as you know personally because you've been there, there's a love on that campus. And the fact that they believe and carry on in the name of God, that therein lies a problem, I guess, for the political left.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, having been a student on campus, when Falwell Senior was alive, and he was a rock star.
Wow.
Yeah, he would drive around in an SUV, and he would stop and slow down and wave to the students. And then when Jerry Jr. took over, the camaraderie, the brotherhood that exists on campus doesn't exist on other campuses.
Clearly.
And the care for students doesn't exist on other campuses.
Yeah.
And so, look, I mean, you get one dozen or 2 dozen university administrators out of 3,000 to comment and say that they're dissatisfied. I mean, I guess that's a pretty good ratio, because I would imagine that you could go to any other university and probably find a lot more employees that are disgruntled with their university presidents.
I will leave it at this. And when you go on the campus at Liberty University, there's such a positive feeling. It's such a special place. And by the way, business-wise, it's maybe, and I don't know this as a fact, but it's one of the most successful universities in America. When it just runs so well. Why do they have to tear down everything that's good, that people like, that is so great for our youth? I should be so lucky to send my kids to Liberty University, And look at the fine young man that you are coming out of Liberty University. Why do they got to tear down everything that's positive and good? Jaden, what's going on? As a millennial, how do you see it, man?
Look, I think our culture doesn't like tradition. It doesn't like what the pillars of what is old, and they want to create new things. This entire millennial generation is a generation of iconoclasts. We want to burn everything down and rebuild it in our vision. Except our vision lacks history, and it lacks context, and it lacks understanding.
We got a lot to talk about, but we got to let you go, man. Jadan Horyn, this is a very, very good kid and a fine young American and a millennial who's a conservative. And you know what? You might want to check out Metropolitan Magazine, this great piece that Jadan wrote on Melania Trump. Always good to see you, my friend.
Absolutely. I'll see you tonight.
You're a great kid there. Yes, see you on the boat tonight, man.
Indeed.
You're going to have some fun. And thanks for the coffee. You could bribe this morning team. And